Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something deeply personal, the journey of fertility. And we're going to look at it through the incredible wisdom of Dr. Nadal Abarati. Her whole philosophy, it's this powerful mix of hard science and, just unshakable faith. Okay, let's just jump right in with a question that's going to sound, well, totally backwards. Does getting pregnant after 40 actually make you younger? I know. Everything we hear is that it's a race against time, right? But what if, just what if, it could actually turn back the clock? So Dr. Needle argues that pregnancy at 40 isn't some kind of last-ditch effort. No way. For a lot of women, it's a brand new beginning. And get this, it comes with some pretty amazing unexpected perks. Okay, so what are these benefits? Well, first off, a new baby brings this incredible wave of positive energy into the house. It kind of renews your own youth and vitality. Your memory gets sharper, your sense of responsibility is heightened, and let's be real, from a practical side of things, you're often more financially stable at this age. Plus, modern medicine gives you options that our parents never dreamed of, like banking those precious stem cells for your family's future. So her core message really is this. Don't hesitate. Stop listening to all the noise, all the people telling you it's too late. She says their words don't change a thing. It's about trusting your journey. But, and this is a big but, she's also very clear that all this hope has to be grounded in solid medical facts. And that's where we're going next. Right, so while having faith and a positive outlook is absolutely crucial, let's not forget, Dr. Nadal is a doctor. She's a scientist, and she is adamant that you have to start with the real deal medical facts. No guessing games. And here's one of the biggest things she talks about, the pregnancy test. The one you buy at the pharmacy. She says they're just not reliable. They might give you a hint, but a blood test, that gives you a definitive answer. It's not just a yes or a no. A blood test gives you a number, a value. It can tell you if it's a normal pregnancy, a chemical one, a molar one. It gives you the real story, right from the very beginning. Listen to how she says it. The home pregnancy test is not reliable. Get a blood test, my daughter. You can just feel the care in that, right? She's not just being a doctor. She's being a guide, practically begging her patients to skip all the anxiety and the guesswork. Just get the real data. Get the facts so you can move forward with clarity. Okay, so you do everything by the book. You get the blood test, you follow all the doctor's orders, but it still doesn't work. This is the tough part. This is where we have to ask, what happens when medicine just isn't enough? All right, I want you to look at this number, just 15%. It feels kind of small, doesn't it? Any guesses what this number is? This is a huge deal in the world of fertility. That number, that's the success rate for ovulation monitoring, one of the most common first steps people take. Only 15%. And Dr. Nadal is brutally honest about this stuff. She wants you to know the real odds right from the start. Think about it. A 15% chance of success means there's an 85% chance of it not working in any given month. That's a heavy number. And it doesn't stop there. You move up the ladder to something like IUI, and the rate only goes up to about 20%. Even IVF, which everyone thinks of as the ultimate solution, is only around 40% successful. The math is pretty clear. In most of these cases, the chance of failure is actually higher than the chance of success. Now, the point isn't to bring you down. It's about being real. It's about managing your hopes on what can be a really, really tough road. So why do these treatments fail so often? Dr. Nadal has this perfect analogy for it. She says it's like trying to make a good cup of tea with bad tea leaves. You can add all the sugar and honey you want, but if the basic ingredient, the tea itself, is bad, the tea's going to be bad. It just won't work. Sometimes the issue isn't the procedure, it's the quality of the ingredients you're starting with. So if science has limits and the odds can feel like they're against you, what's left? Where do you go from there? Well, this brings us to the other half of the equation, the part that's arguably the most powerful piece of Dr. Nadal's entire message. To really get this point across, she tells this incredible story about a woman and the prophet Moses. This woman wanted a child more than anything, so she went to Moses and asked him to pray to God for her. But God's answer to Moses was pretty final. He said, "I have written her to be barren." The story goes that this happened 3 different times over the years. Same request, same answer. But then something unbelievable happens. A year later, the woman comes back, and she's holding a baby. So, of course, Moses is baffled. He asks God, "How is this possible? You told me it was written."
And God's reply is just, wow. He says, "Oh, Moses, her constant prayer averted the decree. I was shy to turn her away, so I granted her the child." Her relentless, sincere prayer literally changed her destiny. And for Dr. Nadal, that's it. That's the secret sauce. You put in the effort with the doctors, and you put in the prayer from your heart.
And that really boils down to her core belief. Your job, whether you're the doctor or the patient, is to put in the effort. Your duty is to do the work. You do the tests, you take the medicine, you make the prayers, but guaranteeing the outcome, that's not up to us. The outcome is in God's hands. Now, this whole idea of combining effort and faith. For Dr. Niddle, this isn't just some nice theory she talks about. No, for her, it's something she has lived through in the most brutal, heartbreaking way imaginable. She tells this story about her hospital in Aleppo. During the war, it was completely destroyed. And I don't just mean damaged. I mean, it was hit by bombs, and then looters came and took everything. Not just the equipment and the beds. They took the wires out of the walls. They took the actual stones from the building. All that was left was a hollowed-out shell, literally a skeleton. So faced with that total ruin, what do? Most people would just give up. But not her. Her response was a promise. She said, "We will rebuild the hospital hand in hand, because you are our people, and you deserve all our love." Can you imagine deciding to rebuild from literally nothing? It's the perfect metaphor for everything she believes in. And that's really the heart of it all. This journey can be full of these tiny miracles and just devastating setbacks. But her story, it leaves us with this incredible thought. If hope and effort can rebuild an entire hospital from nothing but rubble, just imagine what they can rebuild in our own lives.